All right, Zach, this is your initial swing assessment for the 2024 season. By this time, you know exactly what we're looking for, so I'm not going to waste time explaining it to you. So let's just get started and take a look at what you got. All right. In this swing, what we look at first off is when your foot hits the ground, we draw a circle around your head. We don't want you to slide out of that circle, and you really don't. You stay exactly where you should be. Your sequencing looks good, meaning the way in which your body twists in order to swing the bat. We want that from the ground up. And what we see is as soon as your front foot hits the ground, your back knee is already beginning to twist. Your hips are still straight forward. Your torso is still straight forward. Your hips get engaged right here. That's when they start. And your torso is still straight forward where it should be. And your torso starts right here. So your sequencing is good. It really is. Everything looks good from a sequencing standpoint. Two things I see that in this first swing. First one, there's a bit of an arm bar in that front arm. Okay, you can see that right arm kind of gets straight pretty early. It's not terrible, and this looks like an outside pitch. Okay, so that's just something we're going to keep an eye on. The real thing that we want to work on in the offseason is this back foot. Remember, what we like to see with that back foot is you to twist on the ball of that back foot, whether it's, when I say twisting, whether you're rotating it like this or whether you're bringing the heel up and over. But you want to be on the ball of that back foot. And the reason that we want that is because that's going to create the most consistency in your swing. We want you as little movement as possible, especially in your foundation. So most consistency and balance and everything else is going to be created when you keep on that back foot. I think what we see here is you bring that back foot up and under you probably 8 or 9 inches. And I think really what that's a result of is I think you are kind of thrusting forward with your hips a little bit too far. We should really see is you sitting kind of further back on that back leg when you make contact. Okay, so instead of being like this with your legs, what we want to see is you a little bit more leaning back in your legs, this back leg coming down like this, and then your foot being right here. Okay, that's where we want to see you. Not leaning back. Right now you've got your hips a bit far forward, and you're kind of trying to lean back with your torso because you instinctively know what you should be doing. But we really want you to sit back in your hips a little bit more. That's where you're going to generate the most power. Right now, the only power you're getting from your hips is kind of this a linear power forward instead of getting that torque that you should get from your hips. Okay, and so that's the one thing that we're going to want to work on here in the off season. All right, let's keep going. Now, this one is better. This time you only move that back foot up maybe 3 or 4 inches. But you can see that's inconsistent, right? There's inconsistency in there. First one's like 9 inches. This one's maybe 3 or 4 inches. So by definition, you're doing something different. This one, see, the pitch seems to be, again, out over the plate a little bit. Your arm bar is not as significant here. It's still there, but you're hitting the ball hard. You are still have that slight shift in your hips forward. We want you to lean back on that. Push back off that back foot like you are, but sink back, push back in the front foot, I should say, but then sink back onto that back leg. All right, let's keep going. Better with the foot. This time's 1 or 2 inches, much better. That's where you want to be. I do think these pitches are all out and away on you, so it's hard to tell if that arm bar is a problem. I mean, you naturally are going to have an arm bar when a pitch is out and away. That's fine. What we want to avoid is you having an arm bar on pitches that are inside, because then it'll just eat you right up, right? So that's why I'm paying so much attention to it. But all of these pitches appear to be on the outer side of the plate, okay? Yeah, sequencing's good, heads down. Yeah, everything looks good on that. And you can see much better with that back foot. and you really launch this thing. I mean, you see, you get a little bit extra power because that back foot's on the ground providing stability. And the ball just jumps off your bat on this. Nice work. Okay. Let's see. You're back to 5 or 6 inches on this one. Moving that back foot up. Arm bar is not as significant. I'm not worried about that. The only thing I want to focus on is the back foot. All right, I think you just have one more here. All right. All in all, pretty good. I mean, this one's 3-4 inches. Just the back foot, Z. That's all we're going to focus on. Everything else looks good. You're bigger. You're stronger. Love it. We just want to get you on that back foot more, help you maintain consistency, and we'll give you some drills to help you with that. All right, man, if you have any questions, you let me know. Reach out to me. Otherwise, take a look at these drills. 6 days a week, buddy. 6 days a week, all right? Take care. All right, this is our drop step drill. Now, this drill is for hitters who are drifting too far forward in their swing and trains them to stay back. And what Jack's going to do is, I'm going to give him some pitches here, and what his first movement is going to be back rather than front. So he's going to take his back foot, drop it back, and then execute his swing from that point forward. Jack is going to demonstrate the 25s. Now, the 25s are an everyday drill really for all of our players. In fact, all of our players in our program use the 25 6 days a week. Now, what Jack is going to do is he's going to swing the bat with 2 hands 25 times, then just his front hand 25 times, then just his back hand 25 times, and then finally he's going to finish with 2 hands 25 times. Show us how it's done. Now, as the hitter executes this drill, he should envision a pitcher throwing him his perfect pitch and him hitting that perfect pitch. We do this because not only do we want to train our body how to swing the bat, but we also want to train our mind how to respond when it sees our perfect pitch.